Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about cluster 6, day 7, which is multiplying and dividing scientific notation. We're just going to solve these using Desmos, and as long as our answer is in scientific notation, we're good to go. If we type them into Desmos and it gives us a standard form number, or basically, just a regular number, then we are going to have to convert that number into scientific notation, okay? So we're only gonna do 4 problems, as you can tell. 2 are multiplying and 2 will be dividing, okay? So make sure you go to Desmos. So let's start out with number 1. Number 1 is saying, find the product of 2.6 times 10 to the power of 7 and 6.3 times 10 to the power of 4. So typically you will write that out with parentheses, okay? And remember, the word product means to multiply. Okay? So here we go. So we have parentheses. Okay, don't forget parentheses is down here. Parentheses 2.6 times, and if you notice for the times, they don't give you the little X symbol, they just give you the little dot, which is basically the same thing, okay? Times 10 to the power of 7. To be able to get an exponent, you need to click that button that says A to the power of B. Remember that A to the power of 2 just gives you an exponent of 2 automatically, but if you want to put something other than an exponent of 2, you will click the button that's right beside it, which is A to the power of B. That should take you to the top, and you can put in 7 as your exponent. Then make sure you click this little button right above the backspace, or the button, the function button, so you can scroll over once and be able to put your parentheses. Then go ahead and open another set of parentheses, and now we're going to say 6.3 times 10 to the power of 4. And once again, scroll over and put parentheses. And now if you notice, if you multiply those two scientific notations, you end up with this as your answer, okay, which is 1.638 times 10 to the power of 12. And basically what they did was multiply the two numbers right here to give me this. And then remember, when you multiply the same base, you add the exponents and so on, okay? Let's move on to the next problem. Number 7, this one is saying simplify that. And if you notice, this is multiplication. So let's go ahead and type that in. So parentheses, 1.3 times 10 to the power of 9. See, this is what I was talking about. You need to scroll over once so you can be able to close the parentheses around the whole notation. Open up another set of parentheses, and we have 4.7 times 10 to the power of -5. Scroll over, parentheses. Now we get 61,100 as my answer for that. And like I told you, if that is my answer after I multiply those two notations, I need to convert this into scientific notation, especially with the IXLs, because they're going to require you to know how to, or they're going to require you to type in your answer as scientific notation. So let's go ahead and convert that. Okay, so put your decimal at the end, move it enough times until you have one digit in front of the decimal, which will be in between the 6 and the 1. So we're left with 6.11 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means my final answer will be 6.11 times 10 to the power of 4. And yes, technically this is the right answer, but most of the time, especially if we're doing scientific notation, you're going to be required to put it in scientific notation. Okay? Now let's move on to number 2. It says find the quotient of those two notations. Well, the word quotient means to divide. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a moment. Okay? And let's work this out. Take decimals. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm dividing, I'm going to go ahead and click my division symbol so I can get my fraction. And at the top, I'm going to type in the first scientific notation, and make sure you put parentheses. 1.23 times 10 to the power of 11. Close your parentheses. Now go to the denominator. Type in the second scientific notation, which is 2.4 times 10 to the power of 4. Scroll over so you can close your parentheses, and there's your answer. Okay. And let me double check that I have that right. Now, of course, we're going to have to convert that into a scientific notation. So I'm going to do that over here. Put a decimal at the end, and you're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that will become 5.125 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And remember, I need to include the 125 after the decimal. The zeros can be left off because it's going to be implied once we move the 6 to the right and we're trying to go back to that number. So really, my answer will be this. And yes, once again, this is technically correct, but we are going to be required to know how to convert it into scientific notation. And then, of course, your last problem, number 6, let's type that out. And yes, we are doing the quotient rule, we are dividing these two scientific notations. So here we go. 6.4 times 10 to the power of -4. Close your parentheses. Go to the denominator, open up parentheses. 9 times 10 to the power of 6. And I end up with this really weird scientific notation. Okay? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we're doing the wrong one. That's number 8. We're supposed to be doing number 6. Let's try that again. 3.72 times 10 to the power of 8. And then 1.2 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, there you go. And now my answer is 3,100. And if I convert that into scientific notation, I will move my decimal in between the 3 and the 1, and my notation will be 3.1 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there's my answer. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever.